Who is the projected best player in college football ahead of the 2024 season? There are quite a few names that are at the top of many lists out there. A lot of player rankings and analysts have a different name at the top. We're seeing a ton of Colorado's Travis Hunter because of his two-way versatility. We're seeing a lot of Michigan's cornerback Will Johnson, who has also been at the top of some of the early lists because of his lockdown ability as a defensive back. Others have James Pearce, the edge rushing outside linebacker from Tennessee, and some have Michigan interior defensive lineman Mason Graham as well. All of these names are valid, and for the sake of what we do here at Football Scout 365, with our focus being on NFL draft content, we are going to focus on who we believe the top player is, and we are also going to only consider NFL draft eligible players as well for the sake of time. And I have dwindled my early season list down to these two players, Travis Hunter, the cornerback / wide receiver out of Colorado, and Michigan defensive back Will Johnson. Now, before we get started with this analysis, I want to remind you to check out our website where I will provide my 2024 NFL QB stats and fantasy projections for free ahead of the 2024 NFL season. In addition, you can find all of our core NFL draft analysis, our NFL draft big board rankings, which now includes our initial 2025 NFL draft player rankings. You can find all of this and a lot more on our website, footballscout365.com. So both Will Johnson and Travis Hunter have their known qualities that a lot of people are reaching for when they are debating these two players side by side. Now for Travis Hunter, it is his two-way versatility, his lockdown ability on the defensive side of the football combined with his ability to just take a game over on the offensive side of the football as well. It's hard for me to decide which position that I should be using to decide how to rank him, but I have stayed with the cornerback position being his primary position in my current rankings. Now, there is a world where I could see him being drafted as a wide receiver and he would still be a top 15 guy in my opinion, but I really believe his home is going to be on the defensive side of the football at the NFL level. Now, as far as his coverage ability on the defensive side of the football, he is a very good player in both off-man and zone coverage. He's not a big physical corner at 6'1", 185 pounds, but he does have good length. He does a great job reading and reacting to things on the field. Now, as for Will Johnson, he is a true cornerback. Like Travis Hunter, he has excellent coverage ability, but he does possess a more physical frame at 6'2", 205 pounds. He can take away half the field, and just like Travis Hunter, he is great in off-man and zone coverage, where he can both read and react to the football, but he could absolutely get in a wide receiver's face and play a little bit of physical press man corner as needed, and that's where I think he has the edge in terms of his physicality at the NFL level when he's being compared to Travis Hunter at the current moment. There are also rumors coming out of Ann Arbor that Will Johnson could potentially play some offense in 2024 due to a lack of wide receiver depth and the need for a playmaker on the outside, so keep an eye out for that. I would not be surprised by this whatsoever because Will Johnson is a high IQ athlete. This guy's play recognition on the defensive side of the football, his ball skills on the defensive side of the football show as well. There's no doubt about it. I believe his skill set could translate to the other side of the football as well. Both players, by the way, they are from the class of 2022. Travis Hunter, he was a top-rated player in his class in 2022. Will Johnson from that same class was the 15th overall rated prospect according to 24/7 Sports. Both players, they both held significant high-level offers. Will Johnson obviously chose Michigan. Travis Hunter, he chose to play at Jackson State and HBCU under Deion Sanders at the time, and then Hunter would follow Sanders to Colorado in 2023. Now, as far as the stats and the film-based advanced data, I'll side by side the two here in a few key areas. I'll start with where they line up on the field, which is important because we always talk about positional versatility, and this is important at the cornerback position. And for Travis Hunter, he aligned out wide 470 times, and he aligned in the slot only 12 times a season ago. Hunter split his left and right side alignment 50-50 in 2023, so that's important to keep in mind that he is a guy who will be moving around the formation, more than likely following the best receiver for whatever opponent it is in that particular week. Now, when you compare to Will Johnson, who lined up out wide 400 times in 2023, 35 times in the slot, he too was aligned to either side of the field 50-50, 50% of the time. So he could be on the right side one play, he could be on the left side, he could be in the boundary, he could be a field corner from one play to the next. And he was often aligned against that opponent that week their top wide receiver. Now, in terms of overall PFF coverage grade in 2023, both players, they graded about the same, but Will Johnson, he was fourth in QBR allowed in 2023 among corners with at least 200 pass coverage snaps. Will Johnson, he posted the 8th best QBR allowed in zone coverage in 2023. He was in zone roughly 60% of the time. And in terms of his man-to-man coverage, he was 32nd in the country in NFL QBR allowed in 2023. Now, again, this is using the minimum 200 coverage snaps for the 2023 college football season. Now, for Travis Hunter, he was in zone coverage about 53% of the time. He ranked 259th in QBR allowed. Not a great ranking for him, not a great number for him. And as far as his man coverage, he was 235th in QBR allowed, and he gave up 4 total touchdowns in man-to-man coverage in 2023. Now, I know that Hunter, he had the god-awful game against Stanford where he was targeted 19 times. He gave up 11 catches. He gave up 158 receiving yards in that game. He had his worst coverage day of the season, and he also missed 3 or 4 tackles as well. But on the other end, he had his best game on offense with 140 yards as a receiver, and he scored 2 touchdowns in that way as well. Is that an excuse for the bad defense in that particular matchup? I would say him playing over 100 snaps combined on offense and defense is a massive issue that will absolutely gas him throughout the season or throughout the course of a game, and it can have a negative effect on his ability to play at the highest level on either side of the football, especially on the defensive side of the football where you have to be more physical, right? You're chasing guys, you're reacting to guys. It's going to take away from your reactionary ability. That's where I have become more and more conflicted with Travis Hunter, because you can see the elite level coverage ability when this dude is not gassed on the defensive side of the football, when he's not playing, a total of 100 plus snaps in a game. Once he gets up to that, 80 total snaps level, you start to see his game, take a step back throughout the course of a game. So that is something to take into consideration with Travis Hunter overall. Now, as far as who I like the best overall, I love Travis Hunter. I believe he can be just like Charles Woodson. And I think, as I said, he should be used sparingly on offense. Charles Woodson, he was used sparingly on offense as a decoy for Michigan back in 1997. I think Travis Hunter should be used for maybe 10 or 15 snaps on offense per game in key situations, key third down moments, things of that nature. Get him out there, use him as a decoy to open things up for other people on the field. I think that would be tremendously beneficial for him in the long term. As for Will Johnson, we already know he is an elite level cover corner. He shut down Marvin Harrison in 2022 and 2023. He didn't have any issues ultimately against Washington in the national title game versus any of the receivers in coverage, including Rome Odunze. Now, again, I mentioned earlier that there's some potential that he could play some offense. If he does play offense for Michigan in 2024, I think it should be sparingly, obviously, as I just mentioned, in the same regards to Travis Hunter. So that is the side-by-side comparison of 2 of the top players in college football ahead of the 2024 college football season. I have both players currently ranked in my top 5 of my 2025 early NFL draft rankings. Now, I do believe that Travis Hunter has more to prove in terms of his primary position once he gets to the NFL, and I believe that will be the cornerback position when all is said and done after the 2024 college football season. So let me know what you think. Who is the top player in college football ahead of the 2024 college football season? Is it Will Johnson? Is it Travis Hunter, or is it another player like James Pearce out of Tennessee, or another Michigan player from the defensive line in Mason Graham? Let me know in the comments section what you think and reply with who you believe is the top player ahead of the 2024 college football season. Once again, I want to say thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more great NFL draft content.